Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. I'm glad you're here. I am Krista, and you are watching Heart to Heart with the Breakfast Club. We are all digital business owners and work online. Our intention is to have open dialogue about various subjects and hopefully get you thinking. Please keep in mind we are expressing our opinions and drawing from our own experiences. We value everyone's opinions and beliefs and would love to hear from you. Today's topic: you want to do something different in your life, but so you have that feeling or nudge. You know that feeling. We've all felt it. Life is telling you it's time for something different, and you know it, but you just don't know where to start. Has this ever happened to you? Well, this seems to be a common theme in my life. Happens all the time. I learn something and master it, and then I get that nudge to do something new. So here's what I do when I get that feeling. I first acknowledge it. This is the very first step. Acknowledging you are feeling that nudge to do something new. Then I just simply say, okay, universe, I am open to where you are directing me. Yep, it's that simple. Then the next step is to stay open and receptive. This is the hardest step, I feel. This one is very important. Be aware of what is happening around you, who is showing up in your life. You get the urge to go somewhere, go. What what may be popping up on your social media feed? This is exactly how I got into this online business, by an ad that popped up on my social media feed. Did I know what it was all about? No. But I knew my life needed to go in a different direction, and I decided I was open and receptive to what the universe had brought me. So I took the steps to investigate the opportunity. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or circumstances before taking any steps. There will never be a right or perfect time. You have to make the decision to do it now. Now is the right time, and everything else will work itself out. Okay, let's go to the girls and see what they do when they get that nudge. Good morning, ladies. Okay, Pam, your turn.
Good morning, ladies. Oh, what a topic, Krista. You do pick them. Would I like to do anything different in life, and how do I react when I get that feeling that I need to do something different? First of all, my stomach is all tied up in knots. And I'm going around like this. Like, I was never good at making decisions on the spur of the moment. I mull things over so much that I make myself sick. And then I'll say to my husband, "Do you think I should do that? Go ahead. It's never as bad as you think it is. Just jump in." Well, for a long time, I've been in the workforce forever. Happy to say, got quite the experience out there. But anyway, when I wanted something different, like, I went to work in a water bottling plant one year. That was quite different. I went to Alberta one year and I worked at Walmart. That was quite different. And then one day when my husband was working the rigs, I came across an ad. And I've always wanted to do something online. You're always playing with your phone. So why not use it and make something on the side, right? But boy, was I nervous. I knew people were doing things online, but I never knew what they were doing. Because years ago, I tried something different and I came home with a telephone. And another year, I came home with an easel. That didn't work out so good. So I was thinking, now going online again, what am I getting myself into? But the first step was the scariest step. When I clicked that button to learn more, I was thinking, what am I going to see in here? So my stomach was tied up in knots. but my heart was beating so fast. And I was thinking, okay, this can't be that bad, Pam. People do that every day. And when I got inside and saw what was going on, like the training was all there, all those people from all over the world was there, young and old alike, from all industries. We had people here that was plumbers and nurses and doctors and lawyers and pilots and sailors and construction workers. Like there was people in there from everywhere. And I was thinking, like, is there anyone there that just stays home and takes care of their kids? Home care people, homemakers? Yes, there is. There's home care workers there. There's janitors there. Oh, well, if they can do it, there must be something to it that I can do too. So I started to wind down, and it wasn't so difficult after all, because I went back home and I said to my husband, like, I saw something and didn't sound so bad. It's not so scary. And we've wanted to try something different. Do you think we could do this? He said, well, I'm sure if you put your mind to it, you can do it, Pam. You've done everything else, so you may as well give this a try too. So doing something different, sometimes it is scary, but do your due diligence, research, and take the first step, because the first step is always the scariest. Take care, and God bless you. That's it for me. Back to you, Krista.
Thank you, Pam. And as always, great points and lovely storytelling. I love the way that you put your points across. It's so nice. So anyways, yeah, you're always going to feel that nervousness, sickness in your stomach, butterflies, whatever you want to call it when you try something new. It's always going to do that. But you just have to take that first step, like you say, and those go away because you realize you're not going to die or whatever our minds are telling ourselves, right? So great points. Thank you so much. Okay, Janice, your turn.
Wow, Pam, I can certainly relate to some of the things that you've said. Doing a variety of things, moving from one thing to the next. And I remember when I first started, it was the same. You saw this little ad on Facebook, and I thought, gee, I wonder what that's all about. And, I went in and I saw all of the initial videos that we all get to watch. And I thought, this is something I think I can do. So I went to my husband and I said to him, what do you think of this? He said, well, whatever you decide, I support you. That's my husband. My husband, he supported me all along. I said, okay, at different times, a few times, I says, I'd like to do the Washington Marathon. Okay, he says. So we went through and I've done like 4 marathons and half marathons and all of that sort of thing. He's been there for every single thing I've ever done. And I think that has a lot to do with it. When you get that little urge and the nudge to do something, that's really one of the things that's important, is to have people who are sort of supporting of you. And, when you're feeling sort of down and discouraged, you always have someone there to sort of talk to and to back you up. And within our community that we have here, and this amazing business that we have people here to support us. And that's what we have in our little breakfast group that we have here as well. And one of the things that last night, we have a large group of a Zoom type meeting. And the main leader, he was saying, in any sort of business, how you have people above you, and, you have your people who are your cross lines. He says, you always have, if you can't find someone who's above you, who's able to help you on a certain day, you have people who are your cross lines. And that's what we have in our community. We have people all over. If we can't have someone who's above us or someone even below us, they have knowledge too. We have our cross lines, and they are the most important people in your business, is to have people who can support you with whatever it is you're doing in your business. So with that, Krista, I will send it back to you.
Thank you, Janice. And yeah, thank you for your great points. The meeting that Janice was talking about is our weekly masterminds that we have every Wednesday night for the last 8 years. Our founders have done a weekly mastermind of new teachings, new findings in the online space. It's a way of keeping us all in touch with each other, to keep us up to date on everything that's going on in the online world, and to keep us united. That's why we're still strong 8 years later, is because of their dedication to their community and us. So it's great. Thanks, Janice.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jose, your turn.
Good morning, everyone. So good to be here. Good to see everyone. So yeah, Pam and Janice, you both covered so much. And as you are talking, I'm thinking of my own past, right? So as a little girl, I always had this entrepreneurial side of me. I'll confess, one of the things that I used to do when my mom, you're gonna laugh, when my mom would cook a turkey, I would keep the neck and I would take all the skin off and let it dry, and then I would paint each portion of the neck and I would make necklaces with it. Like, who would buy that, right? But as I grew up, I always had this, these ideas of having home-based businesses. And it was always like a side thing, right? So I worked 35 years in the healthcare field and absolutely loved what I did. And my dream was to have my own home where I could take care of seniors personally, being there 24 hours for them. Along the way, I want to go back a little bit. I had a business where I made accessories out of the tail of beavers. Beaver tail, the tail of a beaver is leather. So you get them made into leather because there's a tanning process. And I made wallets and change purse with the tails. Then I also had a environmental diaper service where I would offer the moms cotton diapers so that they could use a good cotton diaper on their children, which is healthier. And I would look after taking, cleaning them and then returning them week by week. There's always been something on my mind. So fast forward a little bit, I did build my very own retirement residence where I looked after 3 seniors in my home. What I didn't realize is that you're always exchanging time for money. And if I worked full time and I had a side gig, then I was working extra time, right? So it's never 8 hours or 12-hour shifts. It's always 16, 18, 20. Sometimes it was during the night. My residents needed me. That was my dream. And I loved it. But it didn't give me, I have to say that at the time where I got a nudge, I was struggling between working at the hospital, and I had 2 residents at home that their health was failing, and there was stress at work during the crisis that we've had. And so I wanted to be at the hospital because I wanted to be there to assist them, but then I wanted to be home to make sure I could look after those 2 seniors. And so my heart was broken. I was torn in 2. And so at that time, I actually prayed. I prayed for something. I prayed for a way that I could be at home and earn some extra money and look after those seniors. And so again, just like everyone else, I saw an ad online. I was not as nervous as Pam and Janice because I had already been in business a few times. And so I thought, I'm just going to watch this. And again, I did not jump into it. I did my due diligence. I spoke to my husband, and we decided that this would be a worthwhile venture, journey. And so here we are. We are global. We have over 200,000 people, in this business. And again, even last night's mastermind, like the ladies have spoken about, we are a community. That's the key. So it doesn't matter who is in whose business, we all work together. And that's something that was mentioned last night when our I don't want to say leaders, but our founders were talking about coming back from a huge conference in Japan, and other people were saying to them, can we please tell us how you build this community? It was all about the community. And so we know why, because we live it every day. We have that community that supports us in the online world. And let me tell you, when I first saw that it was all online, there was, I had a little bit of uncertainty too, but I was comfortable enough on a computer. But there's so much to learn. So every day you're learning something new, and you're teaching something new to someone else. So it's a win-win, and the future is bright for everyone. So thank you so much, Krista. This is a great topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. And lots of great topics. And wow, you've got a real entrepreneurial journey, don't you? Yeah, I don't know about the necklace.
Yeah.
That's something original, that's for sure. But it shows that how innovative you were even as a child. I love that. That's great. Yeah. Okay, Shanaz, your turn.
Good morning, ladies. We all have our own, a story of the journey, how brought us to this a wonderful opportunity, and I am one of those very proud one. Yes, for me it was little bit different, and the reason because as Janice and all ladies explain, they have their own reason for it. They got indirectly pushed to it to make a decision for something different. It was the same thing for me. I had a background from the 3 different business, and my last office, which I used to work on, at the COVID time, I had the most difficult experience because the government announced we are first in line, so we could not stay at home. We had to be exactly upfront. So we were one-to-one with every single patient I had to deal. And then in my department, they put me to deal with the patient. So there would be the case of the people would stand in front of me and they said, this morning I tested and I have a COVID. That was the most scariest thing, because I had a family member at home, which we had to make sure he doesn't catch anything. So everything will be being jeopardized for us. That was one of the reasons it really, truly pushed me to think of another way of, earning some wages for myself. And of course, same as everywhere, all over the world, always there is a back office and there is a poison environment. And I had enough. I remember I came home and I said to my husband, after this COVID is over, I am not going back to this poisoning office. I hate to my bone. And my husband said, no, you can, because we need this income. I said, no, I am not, because I'm thinking to do something else. So anyway, long story short, and exactly that time after the COVID is over, the doctors asked me to do the unexpected operation. So I had to be at home for 8 months in a bed. And that was the time I realized, okay, I really need to change something, because the retirement, it wasn't enough, right? And my retirement was just 2 years away from. So yes, my family member was against it. They didn't want it. But knowing myself and the experience I had from the beginning, of course we are adult, we sit down and we put the pro and cons, and we see what we have put up in our life. Is it worth it? So for me, I want to take control of my life. I had enough of other people to control in my life, my schedule, my time, my traveling. And more than anything, my family member wasn't well, and I had to put my attention on him. But I was always with the limit, and I was being indirectly pushed to take a sick leave. So, which I wasn't medical leave. I didn't need that type of the take. So yeah, I made the decision when I came across with this opportunity, and I am so glad. Boy, it takes a 2 year my family member to become agree with me. When they saw the result and they saw the change in me, in my personal, growth and financial growth, so they all became agree I was right with that, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I became part of the uh, big, huge, globally community. They all like me. No longer my color is a question. Even though I look in the mirror, they used to tell me I'm not white. And I am white in the mirror. I told them, I am white in the mirror. Why you don't say I am not white? Well, you have an accent. Can you change your accent? How could I change my accent? I'm born with this accent. So I put up with lots of nonsense. Now I am happy. A story is, I am lucky I got this business. I am lucky I have a control of my income, my hour of work, place of work, with whom to work, with whom not to work, and I'm enjoying to the fullest.
Yeah,
I
that's awesome. That's awesome, Shanaz. Thank
thank
you
you,
so
my love.
much. Yeah, and luck really has nothing to do with it. You had to take the first steps, right? Like,
Of course.
yes, luck has
Yeah,
we,
definitely.
we
And
don't.
I had that determination. I'm gonna make a difference, because
Okay,
I had enough. Now is the time, after this many years, to take control of everything by myself. I am
exactly.
worth it.
Yes,
Thank you,
absolutely.
my love.
So everything starts with the first step. And there's so many reasons to join this business or the online space, is because, like Shanaz said, she has, a loved one that needs her. She didn't want to be in the workforce anymore. Every one of us had, a different reason, and your reasons are probably different than ours. But every reason is just as valid, and the internet is not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to get bigger, and more people are going to get involved. So, yeah, so this is the way to go. So there you go, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our discussion and it gave you some food for thought. If you are interested in working with amazing mentors and are open to finding out more, register for our free live information session happening tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to the website of the person's page you're watching from and register, or send them off a message and they will make sure you get the website to register. A replay is always available as well if this time frame doesn't work for you. And here's a couple of quotes for you. We cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. Max Defee. And another one is, be willing to be a beginner every single morning. Eckhart Tolle. So there you go, everyone. I'm signing off. Have an amazing day.